And they sat down to eat a meal. Then they took their eyes and looked, and the company of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels, bearing spices, balm, and myrrh, and they went on their way to carry him to Egypt. So Judah said to his brother, "What profit is there if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hands be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh." And his brother listened. Then the Midianite traders passed by, so the brothers pulled Joseph out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. That was the average price of a slave during that time. And they took Joseph to Egypt. Then Reuben returned and saw the pit was empty, and he tore his clothes, and the story goes on from there. It's a relatively familiar story, you know it. But let's think of what happened now. They see Joseph coming. The dad sends them to check on him once again. Joseph already checked up on them earlier. We don't know if it was at the dad's bidding or at his own. Now he sends them out there to do the same thing. And they're like, "Look, here comes the guy. Here comes the dreamer. Here comes the guy that's going to rule over us. Let's kill him." Wow. Again, this family has some dysfunction to it. I love my brothers and sisters dearly. Did I always like them? No. Did I ever want to kill them? Well, maybe figuratively. Would I ever really have? No. But this was where their depravity had fallen. So Reuben talks him out of killing him. Let's just throw him in the pit. And it was probably kind of a deep well type thing where Joseph could not get out of, and he was stuck, and he was down there, and he was kidnapped by his own brothers. So then they decide, well, you know what? Here comes a bunch of merchants. We would like this. We need stuff. Let's sell him as a slave. And Judah led that scheme. Can you see where this family had fallen? But remember, we started out this, God's in control. Who was the one that gave Joseph the dream? God did. God had promised him, "You're going to be a ruler." Now what is God doing? "Oh, I'm putting you in slavery." Folks, there's no other explanation but that God had his hand in this situation. God knows the thoughts and intents of our heart. The author of Hebrews says. God knows this better than we know our own selves. God knew exactly the timing of this. God had the exact time planned out that led, and he led Jacob to send his son Joseph out. He already knew the brothers and what their state of mind was. He planned every last one of these details. So, well, why would God do that? At the very end of the book of Genesis, a theme we'll see we'll probably touch on every week that we look at this story. At the very end, after Joseph and his brothers are all back together and Jacob dies, the brothers are scared because Joseph has the power to kill his brothers. And they're scared. And what does he say? He says, "Well, everything you did to me, you meant for evil. But God meant and caused and planned it for good." God's providence is something we really need to lay hold of, and that's really the basis of our hope. This week, when things are going very difficult, whether it's financial, whether it's health issues, whether it's interpersonal struggle, co-workers, neighbors, spouses, whatever the case may be, understand God's hand of providence is still involved there. God has a plan. Well, our job is to seek, okay, Lord, what are you trying to teach me through this, and how can I best point others to you through this situation?